Things needed for integrative programming. APIs, platforms, and technologies. By Sir Miggs. Study contents. There are 3 contents discussed in this session. Web technologies. Application programming interface. Web services and offline installers. Web technologies. 9 technology domain we need to know. 1. Browsers. 2. HTML and CSS. 3. Web development frameworks. 4. Programming languages. 5. Protocols. 6. API. 7. Data formats. 8. Client. 9. Server. Dwelling on the APIs for integrative programming. An application programming interface, API, is a computing interface which defines interactions between multiple software intermediaries. It defines the kinds of calls or requests that can be made, how to make them, the data formats that should be used, the conventions to follow, etc. It can also provide extension mechanisms so that users can extend existing functionality in various ways and to varying degrees. An API can be entirely custom, specific to a component, or it can be designed based on an industry standard to ensure interoperability. Through information hiding, APIs enable modular programming, which allows users to use the interface independently of the implementation. The purpose. In building applications, an API, application programming interface, simplifies programming by abstracting the underlying implementation and only exposing objects or actions the developer needs. While a graphical interface for an email client might provide a user with a button that performs all the steps for fetching and highlighting new emails, an API for file input or output might give the developer a function that copies a file from one location to another without requiring that the developer understand the file system operations occurring behind the scenes too. Google APIs. Microsoft API. Component model. ActiveX, while not supported in the default web browser Microsoft Edge. Component Object Model, COM. Distributed Component Object Model, DCOM. COM+. Microsoft Data Access Components, MDAC, including, OLEDB. Cryptographic API, Capicom. ActiveX Data Objects, ADO. Collaboration Data Objects, CDO. DirectShow. DirectX. Direct2D. Direct3D. DirectDraw. Direct Input. Direct Music. Direct Play. Direct Setup. Direct Sound. Direct Write. XACT, Cross-Platform Audio Creation Tool. Xaudio 2. Media Foundation, Windows Vista or Windows 7. Interface. Graphics Device Interface, GDI, and GDI+. Application Programming Interface, API. Messaging Application Programming Interface, MAPI. Remote Application Programming Interface, RAPI. Speech Application Programming Interface, SAPI. Telephony Application Programming Interface, TAPI. Extensible Storage Engine, JetBlue. Object Linking and Embedding, OLE. OLE Automation. Uniscribe, see Template Microsoft APIs section, Software Factories. Windows Image Acquisition, WIA. Windows Management Instrumentation, WMI. WinSock. WIN32 Console. Windows API, current versions, WIN32, WIN64. Frameworks. .NET Framework. Remoting, Assemblies, Metadata. Common Language Runtime, Common Type System, Global Assembly Cache, Microsoft Intermediate Language, Windows Forms. ADO.NET, ASP.NET. Windows Communication Foundation, WCF. Windows Presentation Foundation, WPF. Windows Workflow Foundation, WF. Windows Card Space, WCS. Universal Windows Platform, UWP. Windows PowerShell. Microsoft Management Console, MMC. Text Services Framework. Windows Driver Model. Windows Driver Foundation -- Libraries. Microsoft Foundation Class Library, MFC. Active Template Library, ATL. Framework Class Library, FCL. Object Windows Library, AL. Standard Template Library, STL. Visual Component Library, VCL. Windows Template Library, WTL. Text Object Model, TOM. Create our own packages and interfaces. This is what we are going to explore. Example of the API is the installation Turbo C++. The DOS-based Turbo C++ is run in a Windows 10 operating system. The DOS box is used to implement backward compatibility. Offline installers and the cloud services. Offline installers is a client program interface that links the developer to the server where his or her work resides. Cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage, cloud storage, and computing power, without direct active management by the user. The term is generally used to describe data centers available to many users over the Internet. Large clouds, predominant today, often have functions distributed over multiple locations from central servers. If the connection to the user is relatively close, it may be designated an edge server. Cloud computing or cloud service model. Cloud service providers. DigitalOcean registered trademark cloud computing simple, powerful cloud VM. Microsoft registered trademark Azure official site Azure Cloud Shell. Cloud computing services Google Cloud. Amazon Web Services. We do have Facebook for developers. Alibaba Cloud. And a lot more. Reference, wikipedia.org.